When the curtain fell, her laugh rang out the moment she stepped inside. Too loud, too sharp. The kind of laugh people use when they're trying to convince themselves, and everyone around them, that everything's fine. But the sound died in her throat the second she entered the living room. And that's when I knew it landed. She stood frozen in the doorway, that fake smile gone. Her eyes locked onto the pale, sun-faded outline on the wall where the TV used to hang. The same TV we fought over buying, the same one she said she barely watched because she was always so busy. But it was gone now. So was the liquor cabinet. Just a dusty square on the hardwood floor. Me. Like her promises. She didn't say a word, not right away. Just stood there in those ridiculous snakeskin heels, the pair she always wore when she wanted people to look at her legs before listening to her lies. Her fingers started tapping furiously at her phone, either checking messages or pretending to. That was her crutch. When she couldn't control the room, she'd control the illusion. I didn't make a sound. I stood just behind the slightly open bedroom door, watching through the angled mirror in the hallway that gave me a perfect view of the kitchen and front room. Her eyes flicked around, scanning, reading the air. That's what she always did. Adjusted to whatever version of reality she needed to sell. This was the woman I had defended when my brother told me he didn't trust her. The woman I made excuses for when she came home late, smelled like unfamiliar cologne, and said it was client dinners again. The woman I still tried to love, even when I woke at 2 a.m. and heard her whispering in the bathroom to someone named Sierra, who didn't exist in her contacts. But that day I rewrote the script. The couch. My guitar, my camera, the art we picked out for our second anniversary. All gone. The shelves were empty. The silence louder than any argument we'd ever had. She moved toward the bedroom. Her hand touched the knob. I opened it before she could twist it. Her eyes met mine, startled but not scared. Not her. Tamara never feared me. What she feared was losing control. "Where's the TV?" she asked, playing it cool. I didn't answer. "What is this?" she asked again, voice catching slightly. Then she tilted her head, tried to raise an eyebrow like I was the one being dramatic. "Is this about that app you saw? Because if it is..." And there it was. She thought she could steer the moment, that she could manipulate her way back into control like always. But what she didn't know, what she couldn't possibly know, was that I hadn't just seen the app. I'd seen everything. The hidden photo album. The locked messages. The videos. The ones where she laughed in someone else's bed. The ones where she said, "He'll never leave. He's too comfortable." And now here she was, face to face with a man she called too soft to fight back. I didn't speak. I just raised my phone and tapped the screen. Audio played. Her voice, laughing. "I tell him I'm staying late at the office. Poor guy still believes it." Her smile cracked. I watched her pupils tighten. Watched the corners of her mouth falter. She stepped forward. "Where did you get this?" I pulled the phone back before she could reach it. "You left your iCloud connected on your old iPad," I said calmly. "Might have wanted to change your password before you started screwing around." Her jaw twitched, her tell when she was losing the game. "You violated my privacy," she snapped. I stared at her. "You mean the privacy you used to film videos in someone else's bed?" No answer. Just tension. "I made a list," I said, walking to the kitchen. I slid a folder across the counter. Inside dates. Receipts. Hotels. Uber logs. Even restaurant bills from when she said she was with the girls. She didn't look at it. "You've lost it," she muttered. "This is insane." "No," I said. "This is reality. Something you're not used to facing." She crossed her arms. "So what now? You want me to say sorry? You want me to break down and beg for you to take me back?" I shook my head. "I want nothing from you. That's the difference between us." And that's when it hit her. The lack of a breakdown. She came expecting rage. A fight she could weaponize. But I gave her silence. Silence that answered every question. She stood motionless for a beat. Then, "Fine. Cheated. You want that." I said it. The word came out sharp and indifferent, like spitting a seed. I was lonely, she added quickly. You were distant. Always working. You stopped seeing me. I didn't flinch. And that justified 3 different men in 5 months. She blinked. That one stung. He tried again. I don't know what you want me to say. I wanted a marriage. You wanted an audience. We stared at each other. I stepped toward the hallway closet. My bags were already packed. Neat. Organized. I moved my name off the lease, I told her. Lawyer's details are in the envelope. That's when she finally cracked. You wouldn't tell my parents. You wouldn't do that. I haven't. But what happens next is on you. Her posture shifted. Anger flooded her face. You think you're better than me, she hissed. You think just because you did some half-baked detective work, that makes you righteous? I smiled faintly. No, I said. It just makes me done. Picked up my bags. She didn't move. Didn't stop me. Didn't beg. She just stood there hollow. And I walked out without slamming the door. I expected the tears to come in the car. They didn't. Felt clear. Like I'd finally exhaled after months of holding my breath. My brother, Lucas, was already outside when I pulled up to his place. He didn't say much. Just grabbed a duffel bag and nodded. You good? No, I said. But I'm done. That night, I lay in the guest room staring at the ceiling fan. My head replayed everything. The excuses. The nights she came home smelling like someone else. The messages I ignored. And the laugh in that video. Not embarrassed. Not ashamed. Amused. She thought I was a joke. By morning I'd untangled every account. Changed every password. Blocked every contact. Cancelled every shared app, every card. It wasn't grief. It was surgery. Cutting out the rot before it spread. By noon, I had already gotten 2 messages from unknown numbers. One said, "We should talk." The other, "I can explain everything." I didn't answer. Because that wasn't remorse. That was panic. 2 days later the knock came. 3 sharp taps. Like a judge hitting the gavel. Lucas gave me a look. He nodded. He stayed seated but alert. Opened the door. Tamara. Sunglasses. Hair messy. No makeup. We need to talk, she said. There's nothing left to say, I replied. Please, she whispered. Just give me 5 minutes. I leaned against the frame. Say what you came to say. I didn't think you'd really leave, she admitted. I thought you'd fall apart. And there it was. Not regret. Just disappointment that I didn't play my role. You don't get to be shocked when the man you broke walks away, I said, then closed the door in her face. No slamming. Just finality. Days passed. Quiet ones. Focused on work. On breathing. On rediscovering who I was before her. Then came the twist. A man waited by my car after work. Ill. Late 30s. Fidgeting. Logan, right? He asked. Who's asking? I'm Marcus, he said. You knew me as HVAC Marcus. The name dropped like a hammer. What do you want? I didn't know, he said. She told me you were just roommates. That she was already out. I didn't know until a week ago. I didn't speak. She did it to another guy before me, he said, voice low. Same pattern. Built him up. Bled him dry. Left him in therapy and debt. She's not just cheating. She's feeding. He handed me an envelope. Receipts. Timelines. Worse than I thought. Why help me? Because I know what it's like to get burned by a woman who sets fire just to watch it glow. He walked away. And I stood there, holding proof that my pain wasn't unique. Just the latest act in a play she'd performed more than once. But this time the audience left early. And the curtain. It never rises again.